Hola, people. Well, welcome to Coffee and the Cards with some deviant bitches over here. Uh, this is a show, like our review show. So we're going to be doing this ever so often, maybe once a month, maybe a little longer, maybe more. Just depends on how we feel and what we choose to do. Um, I just woke up, obviously. My hair was like out to here, had some mercury issues because I programmed my coffee maker to like brew for me like a half hour before I was supposed to wake up. Nope, it didn't. I think someone turned it off, but anyways, it just didn't. So that's why we're a little late because of me again. Um, but today we're going to talk about two of our favorite things uh, tarot cards and coffee. The deck that we're going to be reviewing today is the Deviant Moon Tarot, which I love.
Hmm. Yes.
Hmm. And I would show you, but I threw that shit away because I ran out yesterday. Coffee Bitch Slap, which
Right here. Bitch slap coffee. Hmm.
mhm. which is delicious, and we'll talk about that after. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the Deviant Moon Tarot, which is created, oh my god, by Patrick Valenza. Um, that deck is fucking awesome, so beautiful. I don't, I just love his work,
Mhm.
his artwork, and he. I think I fell in love with the deck more so when I started seeing how he treats his people, like how he treats the people that come to his page, go to his page, and how he engages with the people who use his deck and who like his work. Like he is a very down to earth. He seems like a very down to earth. I haven't talked to him like personally, but he seems like a very down to earth person. I've seen him in tarot groups. I've seen him on his page, and the way he interacts with people. Um, I respect that, and I think it's pretty awesome. And so that gives me more like I like the deck even more because I love the artwork. I love how it reads. But when I know like the artist, the creator, is pretty cool, pretty awesome. That's just like it makes it even better. So let's talk about what y'all think about the deck.
I love it. I love the artwork. Like that's one of my favorite cards. Um, I love the tribalness of some of the cards. You know, especially like the Ace of Cups. She has a very tribal look to her. I love how the cards present themselves as far as in a reading. They are very in depth, in my opinion. I've had these. How long have I had these?
Couple
Like
months,
2 months,
yeah.
and already there's so much wear on them because I've used them so much. They are very in depth, very abrupt. You know, they are very forthright, and sometimes they'll slap you on the back of the head. But they do have amazing artwork, and I really, really enjoy them. I love the look of them. It took me a little while. I don't know about y'all, but it took me a little while to get my hands used to shuffling them because they are slightly longer. They're a little bit more narrow, but they are slightly longer than like your average deck. So it took me a minute to get used to shuffling them. What about y'all? Did that affect y'all at all?
They are. You can see a
Yeah.
little bit. Yep.
Not much, but whenever you have
Taking
little
me a
hands.
while. My hands I have short hands, so I mean it's really challenging for me to get my hands like one hand to hold it, just to get to be able to shuffle it.
Right.
I have hurt my hands doing that, but I like to be able to shuffle tarot decks like a regular playing deck of cards.
Right.
Exactly.
So as I'm making myself do it, and they're getting they're getting a workout. That's for sure.
Yeah. Um, so, what do you think about the deck, Miss Scarlet?
Well, I love the deck. I like how you can tell the cards, like between like what's an earthy card and a card that represents water and so forth. And to me, the cards, like on this, on this side, the cards to me feel almost like velvet in a way.
Mm-hmm.
The other cards that I have, they're smooth, and glossy or, whatever the hell you want to call it. But this deck in particular, for me, for some reason, feels a little velvety in a way. So I like that. It makes it, I don't know, it just makes it different from the other decks. I have both decks, the one that's borderless and the one with borders.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like, this is the one with the borders, and then this is the one without the borders, and you can look at it and see the one without the borders is it's more like a zooming in.
Yeah.
It's like he's zoomed in on it, like you do on a camera. Because, you can see the details in this one, but with one without the borders, everything, like, becomes even more clear. And I think that the images are also more vivid,
Mm-hmm.
and you see things in the borderless that you do not see in the borders. And so I really enjoy this deck. It's one of my most used decks. And I don't know about you guys, but there's a day that I can go through my decks or go through this deck, and I'll be like, oh, okay, this one in particular is telling me this story. Then the next day I can go back, the same card, and I'm getting told something different. So this card, or this deck, has a lot of stories to tell.
Yes.
In a variety of different ways. And it is not a soft-spoken deck. It's very blunt. It will tell you like it is, whether you want to hear it or not. And if you're not wanting to hear it, and you kind of like almost like in your head want to argue with it, it almost kind of like, to me, it almost like stops the reading. Like, well then screw you, bitch. You'll have to come back another time because you're not listening to what I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
So I like how it's very blunt, and the imagery on it is simply amazing, and it's one of my favorite decks that I have.
Same here.
And you can even tell, like, there is a slight, well, it's because of the borders, but with the regular deck, there is a slight, difference in sizing as well, just very, very minimal. But they also feel differently. I love the borderless. I want to say the borderless, like the material is a little more, it's stiffer. This is a little more bendy.
Yeah.
Like descriptive words. And you do like this, the borderless. At first, I was like, I like both, and I do. I love both of them. They both have something different, but the borderless tends to pop out. I use the borderless more because the borderless tends to pop out more. It sticks out. The color is just so vivid, and it comes to life, and I love that about it. The one with borders, it's almost like it's a little more.
It's almost duller.
Yeah, I was gonna say like stagnant. It's a little more like you're looking at a painting in a sense, and you're like, okay, this would be like a normal painting, and this would be like a painting from Harry Potter, because the paintings move and the paintings like they come to life and stuff. That's kind of how I express that, because this you see the same stuff, you see different things. The colors are a little different. A little less vivid, but you still have that same imagery, still have the same card, but the borderless is just, it sticks out. It's like, this is me. And you can tell like the backings. I honestly love the borderless. That's the different backings. Very similar, but a little darker over here. There's that. But I love this deck. And this deck, a lot of people ask, I want a witchy deck, and what, there are other decks out there that are specifically for, witches and Book of Shadows and stuff like that. This deck is not necessarily one of those, but I feel like this deck is definitely one who one that speaks to like traditional witches, traditional practitioners, traditional Wicca. Uh, just the way it's created, the imagery and how it speaks is very it's very witchy. Uh, not not sure if that was intentional. I don't think it was, but that's just the feel of it, you know. Like when I
Mhm.
connect with the decks, you know, when I work through the imagery, it has a very witchy vibe, and that's like that stands out to me. That's important to me because I do connect with it more intensely. But you can see, yeah, you know, the differences, and I do, and I suggest this deck to like everyone. I gift this deck to like everyone because I love it. I mean, it comes to life, and I think also one of the reasons like it comes to life so easily is because of the artist. Like you can tell like his passion for the work he does. You know, his he puts his energy like deeply into creating the work, and so that speaks for itself. And you can tell just by the way he talks to people and by the way he expresses his work. So I think that definitely adds to the magic of the cards is when a creator is able to be like a part of it instead of like standoffish and like create something and not even engage, and you don't get that feel that this person who created this deck is actually in love with the deck. But you do get that feel with these cards, like they actually love the work, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so definitely, and the other day I had a conversation with my friend uh, who I gifted, the deck to, and he was like, I can't. He was having issues. I think I spoke about this in one of our shows. He was having issues, reading the facial expressions and seeing how they, he's like, well, they all kind of look the same. For me, they don't. They all have, even though they have similar like it's different. Like every time I look at the the facial expressions, it almost changes. It's like one of those pictures that you look at and you get closer and it's like the face changes and you move away and it's different. It's really weird. But yeah, you just when you learn to appreciate like the artwork and enter the card and experience it, you definitely start seeing this in a new light. But I do the deck. I honestly I don't think there's anything. I'm trying to think if there's anything negative I have to say about the decks. Uh, and I don't. There's really not much I can say that's not positive. Everything I've used this deck like since it came out, and I honestly bought like probably 4 or 5 uh, like decks from his website. So they're all you know they're all signed.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, and then he wraps them in this paper and he like draws all over the paper. It's super awesome. So yeah, this deck is just it's just awesome. Like I can't even express enough like how intense and wonderful it is. And definitely this is a deck, and I know some people have, they don't believe this to be true. Like decks don't have personalities. Some people do. Whatever your belief, it's your own. It's fine. I personally believe that decks do have personalities, and and even with all the different imagery, because imagery tells a story. So imagery will create a personality as well. Like you get a certain feel from a deck because of the type of imagery. Um, This deck is like I always say, it's my no bullshit deck. So if I know someone's coming to me and they're gonna try and test me, or they're not sure what they want, or they're gonna try and like throw me for a loop, if I know I'm gonna have to cut through layers of of shit to get to the core of the issue, I'll go to this. I go to this deck anyways, but I'll go to the Deviant Moon Tarot because I know that it will push through. It'll push through barriers. It gets rid of those boundaries, and it tackles information. So this deck is a perfect deck this is a no bullshit deck. So it tells you what you want to know, regardless if you want to know it. So if you at some level you need to know things, and on another level you're like, I don't want to know this right now because I want to continue to like lie to me. I want to live in my bubble, and I don't want to I don't want to have to deal with shit right now. But your soul, your spirit is like, you need to deal with this because we got to move forward. Like we have to deal with this, and that's kind of what this tarot deck does. It just goes directly to spirit, and it taps into that, and it pulls out information that's necessary. Um, Not always in a. It doesn't sugarcoat.
Right.
It's not a sugar-coated, deck. So, and I'm not a very sugar-coaty type person, so I love this deck. It can be, some people can perceive it to be a little mean. I just think it's funny. It's a bastard. It's a bastard. You can call it a bastard. It's definitely a bastard deck. But yeah, and yeah, I love it, and I love both. I appreciate both decks, the borderless and the bordered. I'm very visual and I love art, so I definitely prefer the borderless because it speaks to me more, like easier, and it's just again more vivid for me and it pops out to me. I can definitely see where someone would prefer like the borderless the bordered. Oh, this is like shit. They would prefer this deck over this deck because the different type of personalities. I think someone who's more like analytical or more like the sword suit in the tarot, like they might prefer this deck because it's a little more cold. It's a little more like you can look at it and be more like analytical, and you can like definitely process this version a little differently versus this one that might be a little more loud, and this one might be just screaming at you. You have more time to like process this because it's a little like not slower but slower if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
I just love the use of colors. Some can be very almost dark looking, and then others are just full of bright colors that just pop out at you. I like there's certain cards that I look for in a deck that I'm like, okay, if I don't like these cards, then I probably won't buy the deck.
Right.
The Death and the Devil are the two cards that I look at the most.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. His devil is like super like delicious.
It is, and I love the Death card, and it's interesting to me that it's not named like the other major cards. He's putting out a companion book that should be coming out for the general populace in February, I believe. You can pre-order it now. But he says he discusses why he does not name the death card in that companion book.
I love like death card is like the death card is like one of my favorites. I love the devil, the death card, and the Queen of Cups is one of my favorites as well. But I just love how it looks. That one freaks me out.
I just like this one. I don't know why, but I just like it.
Weird.
I think it's because of all the colors. It's probably one of the more colorful cards he has in the deck.
Another card that like I appreciate and I never really took the time to appreciate before this deck is the Eight of Wands.
Yes, that has turned out to be one of my more favorite cards. And it's weird because in other cards, it's not so. I mean, in other cards, in other decks, it's not so much.
No, not at all. But this, like, I love it. Like, and it's been popping up a lot lately. But I have like a newfound appreciation for this deck, especially this shit right here. Look at that. That's freaking awesome. And
I
then
know. Yeah.
Here, like the symbology in here is like. It's intense and beautiful, and I feel like he expressed the card in such a unique way that it opens up like this energy to see the card in a new light, and it really is amazing, and that's why to me this is very witchy. Like a very witchy
Yes.
card.
Another really witchy one is this one.
That's like Maleficent. That reminds me of Maleficent so much.
Yeah, but it just screams witchcraft to me for some reason, which the Seven of Pentacles usually doesn't. But this one, it does. It just is like, bam, in your face, I'm a witch, look at me.
Bam, bam.
But yeah, I love the deck. I really do. Already, like, the only thing I would probably say in a kind of negative way is that I don't think it's going to hold up to all my wear and tear, like all my use. Already, some of the cards are a little frayed on the edges.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
But like the cards are good. It's a good card stock. It's just the edges.
I wonder if it's because it isn't the shit the type that this is, because this one's a little more glossy. This one, like the borderless, I noticed like shuffling, like there is a lot more wear and tear to this, and I haven't had this deck as long as I have had this one. And this deck, the one with borders, when I shuffle it, like there is no wear and tear, and it's probably because it has the white border, so you don't notice it as much. But also, you can really feel it. It is a little different. So I'm thinking that this does have more, it's a little easier for wear and tear, so it's not going to be as it's not going to fuck up as fast.
Right. I wonder if it's because of the finish, because those look. I don't have the bordered edition.
That's what I was trying to say. Yes.
Yeah. They have like a gloss finish, and these have more of a matte finish.
Yes, that's exactly. I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking that's kind of what it is, which is cool. We'll just have to keep buying more. A very smart idea. But I like when a deck is, when it kind of is a little tattered. But yeah. I
think Scarlett, even one of hers actually like came apart a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, that one. Let me see if I can't get it. But I'm sad. It seriously made me sad. Like I wanted to like throw a fit, like a little 2-year-old on the floor and cry. But what I could do is the way that it ripped, or is, I'll show you when I get it. Here it is.
I
can glue it. I can take like just a little dot of like super glue or something, and then put it over it. But it's right here.
Oh yeah.
The little flap right there.
Yeah.
So I can, glue it back. It's not on this side, but still.
Ew, it's the 9 of Swords.
Yeah. But, I mean, it bothers me, but not to the point where, like, and then, like, right here, it kind of, like, lifts up.
Yeah.
It bothers me, but then it doesn't bother me because, like Michael said, I like the tattered decks as well. Because it shows, those decks show wear and tear. They have more character, I think, than other decks.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows people that you obviously use them.
Right.
But, I mean, this is a quick fix. I mean, I can totally fix this, but, it broke my heart. Because it happened, like, a week after I got it?
Yeah, not that long.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, my God, no, not yet. But, I mean, yeah, it broke my heart. But it's fixable, and I will still use this deck.
Yeah, and I do believe that it has to do with the finish. It for sure does.
And like Melissa mentioned when I was talking about this, you can buy replacement cards.
Right.
Like, so if you need to replace this one, you can go on his website and purchase just this card, so you can have a replacement. But I think
that's really convenient.
Yeah, it is. I'm like super stoked for his companion book. I have been away, and okay, Patrick he is a really freaking great tease. Like, all of his stuff, like his the Oracle deck, like I have everything. Like I don't have the Oracle deck yet, but I'm going to have it. I will have everything that he produces. But I have like all like the paradoxical decks. I have I know we're not talking about these, but I have his the playing cards. Uh, his work is just awesome. So I'm super excited for the companion book, and I don't really read. I don't read companion books. I don't care about them too much, just because I find them a little boring. No offense to anyone who has written one. But most times they seem like the Clear Eyes dude, like very monotone and dull. Um, there's very rare companion books that I actually take time to read. Most of the time, the Oracle decks, like I'll read their companion book just to get that information. But tarot decks, I don't. But I am like super stoked. Except Ludi Lescott. Ludi Lescott companion like little white booklet is amazing. But I am super excited for his companion booklet. It is fucking heavy. It is beautiful, and I can't wait to like see everything that he has said because he's been working on it for quite a while. And I definitely pre-ordered. Sold my firstborn. Sorry. Just kidding. But the coffee's kicking in for sure. But yeah, that I am like. We'll have to do when we all get the companion book. We'll have to do another like show and talk about the companion book. But I'm excited because I love these cards already. I have a really good relationship with them, but to get to know more about them, like how they were created, what he has to offer, like what he says about them, that's exciting. And that's very new to me because I don't, it's going to sound horrible, but I don't care. Like, I don't really care about most other decks, like what people have to say about them, because I'm personally connected to my own. But I am very interested into what he has to say and how they came into creation, and it's just I'm stoked.
I can't. Yeah, his point of view. I can't wait to see how he created the way he created it. Like what and and I hope he does, but I would love to hear what inspired him to make this deck and to make the art the way that it was. That would be very interesting to hear.
I know, like so beautiful, and it's just wonderful. And then his Oracle deck, I'm like, I need that in my life. Like yesterday, there's quite a few projects that he's getting his paws into, and I'm like, stop it, stop.
Yeah. He's a tease. He's a tease for sure.
Yeah, it's like he'll say something, I'm like, take my money. Yes.
Yeah.
So, overall, let's what do we think about this deck? Obviously, we love it, but overall, like, some great points that you want to point out about the deck, go for it.
Well, it's my go-to deck. It's the deck that I go to. It's definitely the deck that, for me, I use for my own personal readings. Right now, it's like the only deck I use for myself to read for myself, even though sometimes I want to throw a fit and throw it across the room because it's telling me stuff I don't want to hear. But it's definitely my go-to deck for myself. It is by far one of my most used decks, and I just love it. There is nothing about it that I can really say negatively. It's amazing. I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. My overall review on this deck is you need to get it.
Yeah.
This deck just speaks to you in so many ways, and if you appreciate art, you will really appreciate this deck. Because this deck, there's stuff in this one, the borderless, that I have not noticed in the borders.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, I haven't seen that before, so I'll go back and I'll compare it, and I really didn't notice it. So this one, I mean, it screams at you to say, hey, look at my art and let my art tell you a story.
Yes.
And I really love this deck. Like Melissa, you know, and I'm sure Michael too. It's a go-to deck. And I've used this deck with my Oracle decks. That is interesting.
Yes.
To mix this deck with your oracles, oh wow. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing negative I can say about this deck. Even that card that I need to fix, it's no big deal to me. It's not a negative thing. It was mostly, I mean, it was my fault because of the way that I was shuffling and the way the other card went into it. So, I mean, that was my fault. But I do like that he offers for you to order a replacement card instead of having to buy a whole deck just because of one card.
Mm-hmm.
So there's absolutely nothing negative I have to say about this deck at all.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree with everything that y'all have said. It's just, and what the one thing that I'll point out again is like what I appreciate so much about this deck is is the creator, is the way he interacts with people, with the people who love his work and the people who support his work. Like, he makes it even more special by being present and by telling you more about the cards, telling you more about like his process and what he's going to do with the companion book. But he's done it already since the creation of the deck. Like, he just makes it, he makes it more enjoyable. He makes the process like very personal, because you feel like when he's talking about the deck on his page, and let's Deviant Tarot, check it out. We'll post the the link in the description. If you don't follow already, you need to. But just the way he engages people, and he is super fast too. Like, when he orders something, like their shipping like is amazing, and he produces a very great experience, and so that adds to my my love for the deck, because when you're working with something, you know that it was created with passion, more so because of how someone's expressing themselves during the process, so you feel like you're a part of it, and then you know that they care about their work enough to do the best they can to get it to you in time, or so all of that is added to like the amazing imagery, the cardstock, just the overall experience. So I love this deck, and really, I don't have anything negative I can say at all, other than I want more. There's nothing. I love this deck, and it is my go-to deck. I use this a lot. The interesting thing for our healers out there is I use this in healing, not the fucking Nine of Swords. Shit, what's that? I mean, I use that in a different way, not healing, but hard. So I do work with this deck in healing work, and I love it. You can see it's a little tattered, but I love working with this deck when doing healing work, because again, it cuts through the bullshit. So it cuts through things that are a little more challenging to cut through, or other decks might take a little longer to get to the core of the problem. Not this deck. This goes straight there. You get what you get, and it does the job. And it's easy for the reader and the deck to connect. Some people call this a dark deck. I don't call it a dark deck. I don't feel like it's a negative or dark or scary. I think it's beautiful, and again, that's going to be, everyone's going to perceive it differently because of the way we perceive imagery. But I don't consider this dark.
No, I don't either.
No. It's beautifully blunt.
Yes.
Beautifully blunt. So yeah, absolutely. We love this deck. We support the creator and everything that he produces. Like, we're like, here, we want 10. But for sure, like, get this deck and tell us what you think about it. Like, if you have this deck, put in the comments below like what you think about the deck. If you love it, if you don't love it. If you don't love it, let us know why. I'm curious, because I haven't really come across anyone who has hated this deck. A few challenges with this deck that I've noticed that people have are they think that it's dark, and so they're like, I can't do that. but it's not. Once you start getting to know the deck and you work with it, you understand that it's not dark, it's just very blunt, so it makes you face things a little faster than normal. But yes, the deck is wonderful.
I've had a few people complain to me about the art. Not that it was not beautiful or anything, but they have said to me, I don't see what you see, or even close to what you're seeing. The picture itself or the art itself is gorgeous, but I'm not seeing things how you see things. And so, in order to be able to get what the artist is saying, you have to like really open yourself to go into that art.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And for some people, it's really easy. Some people, they have, difficult a time doing it. But when I got this deck, even the one with the borders, it's like a really good book that you're reading, and you get drawn into the book.
Right. Yes.
He draws you into his art, and you are there. And if you have if you have any issues or blockages with doing something like that, then I think you really need to to release that blockage and really let yourself open up to what art can tell you.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, obviously we love the deck. It's like you have to have it, and I honestly would suggest getting both decks because you notice different things in both decks. If I would choose one deck over the other, I would suggest if you're very creative and very visual and artistic and you love like loud things and things that speak to you, go with the borderless. If you need to go a little slower, or if you're very analytical and you have like that logical mind where you have to like look at something and allow you have to be in full control and you have to allow yourself to look and notice and find, go with the one with borders, because I do feel that they're very distinct and they speak to you in different ways. But for sure, do that. But yeah, go with, again, either deck. If you have to choose one based on what I just said. But yeah, they're both wonderful. They're both exciting, and I love them both. I want Yes. So coffee, which I'm sad because I'm like almost down to nothing.
I know, I'm getting close to the bottom of my cup too.
I'm like, oh shit, I need more coffee. So the coffee that we decided to like review today is, well, Bitch Slap Coffee, or the way they have it advertised. I'm gonna read off the Amazon thing. Ooh, look at that shit. Look at this. Look at that. It's so beautiful. It's red. Right?
Yes, red.
Yeah. Delicious.
Yikes. It smells just like unbelievably strong.
Yeah, and it's called Coffee Bitch Slap. Extra strong and extra smooth, high caffeine coffee. We all got the whole bean version because I just feel like when you get it in the bean version, like it's just better. Like it's more fresh, and I have to read you the description because it makes me laugh. So the product description for Coffee Bitch Slap Coffee is: keep that pimpin' hand strong. If you see someone dragging along, give them a coffee bitch slap and tell them, drink up, wake up. So there's a lot more to it. You can read that if you go on Amazon, check it out. But that was funny. Like I love products that have a sense of humor and they swear.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's talk about our first impressions of the coffee. So when y'all got the coffee, what were your first impressions?
Well, whenever I opened it up, whenever I smelled it, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. This smells so strong. But the first time I drank some, I actually kind of made it a little stronger than I probably should have, because it was like, oh my gosh, I was just jumping around, like my heart was fluttering a little bit, and just, oh my god. So, Robert made it a little. My husband made it for me this morning, and
Oh.
he made it a little less, stout, I guess is the word I should say. And it's really perfect the way he made it. It like the first time I made it, like I said, it was a little too strong. It sort of made me sick to my stomach because I'm not used to that much caffeine. But today it's not like that.
I'm used to that.
Yeah. Yeah, today it's not like that. Today it's very smooth whenever you pour it out. You think it's not going to be that strong. It almost looks sort of like a weak coffee.
It does.
But yeah, but once you taste it, you know that's not true, but it is very smooth.
It is. What before you dive with our Scarlett? What was your first impression? Because I know you just got it, so that's fun. So what's your first impression of the coffee?
Yes, I just got it yesterday, and I was telling Michael and Melissa and Hunter that it was funny how it was delivered yesterday, because when the FedEx, I don't know about anybody else, but when FedEx comes, or even UPS, and they drop off a package, they set it by my door on my steps, and they knock or either ring the doorbell and they leave.
Yeah, they run. They like book it.
Yeah, well, yesterday I knew the coffee was coming, and I heard the doorbell, and I'm like, okay, that's probably FedEx. Well, I was taking my time walking out there and everything, and the FedEx driver is standing there at my door waiting for me to open the door, and he handed me my package. That never happens, ever. So I was like, maybe he knows it's coffee, and he wants to make sure that I got my coffee.
Yeah.
So, well, I opened it, and it was packaged with, like, this black plastic, like this dark black plastic over it, and it was tight, and I was like, well, should I open this or should I not open this? Because I don't know if I, take a knife and rip it open, that's the actual coffee on the other side, and not in the bag. So it was protected well, and with that black plastic, I wasn't able to, smell the coffee. Like other coffees I've ordered, you can smell them right when you open the box.
Right.
So the packaging is, it's like really thick, which I like because, it's not going to rip really easy. It's not made of paper. And I smelt it, and it has a really strong smell.
Yeah.
But it's not an icky smell. I mean, it smells delicious, but it is strong. It's like, whoa. And I was kind of nervous to make it because I'm the type of person that I don't like my heart to flutter. Like, I hate that feeling. I feel like I'm going to have, like, an anxiety attack. And so I was really nervous based on what Melissa had told me yesterday, because she had some yesterday. And I was like, oh, my God, I don't want to drink this stuff now. I don't want it. And I'm like, oh, forget it. I'm going to go at this, and I'm going to go for it, the way that I normally make my coffee. And so because they are the beans, and then, those are the ones that Michael chose was, the beans. So I grinded it up in my grinder, and the aroma that it puts out when you're grinding it is even more delicious than just smelling the bag.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fresh, and it's like, you almost feel like you're like in this old time like coffee house. I'm not talking Starbucks or anything like that, but an old coffee house. And then I brewed it. I used the same amount of coffee that I use with normal coffee, and I was nervous because I used like 3 scoops. But when it was brewing, it was a really lighter color, like Melissa said. And I'm like, crap, did I make this strong enough? Because it's really light in color compared to other coffee. Well, then when I was pouring it in, you could see how light it was, but the more that I filled up my coffee cup, it got darker the more coffee that went into my cup.
Right.
And the smell that it has after it's brewed is nowhere near what it smells like in the bag.
Not at all.
Really smooth smell, and it smells like it could be strong, but it also smells like it could be like not as strong, but it's a really smooth aroma. And I don't drink black coffee, but I tried it anyway because I wanted to see what it tasted like. And it's smooth, yes, but it's strong to me. But it's a really good coffee. I like it. And this is actually my first cup of it, and I'm going to have to go get some more. And I like it. It's not like some coffees, like even Folgers or, like the store-bought shit. If you make it too strong, it, like, attacks your freaking throat. Like, whoa, that's really strong. This, it's not. It goes down so smooth. And I really like that.
Right.
And it tastes really good. I like it.
Yeah. I don't have the packaging with me because I tossed it out. Although I might go get it again because, and this is again because, we are Deviant Witchery. This is very magical. I might take that coffee, the package, and use it like to throw poppets in because it's like coffee bitch slap. So you're gonna bitch slap someone, especially with the powerful punch because that's what the coffee expresses. So I might throw some poppets in there and use it. But the packaging is gorgeous, like the red, and it is again like Scarlett said, it's thick. It's very durable, and yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. It's just I love the red, and it stands out. And again, like how it came, it was in this black wrapping, which I appreciated because it's like, okay, wow, it's like they're really taking it into consideration. They're making sure that their stuff is packaged properly. It's going to be, well protected because sometimes it's not, and then shit just opens and it's just a hassle. But that was wonderful because it's like, okay, we take care of our products. We're going to make sure it's really wrapped up. I appreciated that. The smell is wonderful. It smells so like fresh, and it does have like a little strong scent to it. But I was kind of worried when I first made it because again, like everyone said, it looked like a weak coffee. It looked like you go to a diner and they made this like it looked like watered down coffee almost, and I made it like I make it strong, and I even put my setting on like the strongest setting. So it makes it even, look really strong. I'm like, it kind of has like a reddish hue to it, and I'm like, that's pretty. I love that. But at the same time, like, is it gonna be strong enough? Because I need my caffeine. I need my coffee. I need to wake the fuck up. I need to be a pleasant person. And coffee helps me. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just give it a try. And the funny thing is like the first time I had it, my grandma was here and my aunt was here who came down from, they live in the mountains, and so they were here. They don't come, here often. And my grandma was like, can I have some? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, fine. My aunt's over here. My grandma's in the kitchen with me, and I gave her some. And my aunt was like, you better watch out. She's going to slap you. And my grandma looks at me like, did she just call me a bitch? Because you didn't stop talking. I was like, she did. She's like, and my aunt just walks off. And my grandma was like, she just called me a bitch. I'm like, Grandma, well, if the coffee fits, like, I'm like, yeah. She's like, ooh, that's strong. And so I drank it, and I thought that was funny, though. But I drank it, thought nothing of it, and just, did my thing. But then later on, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, it kicked in, and I had energy. Like, I love the whole, woo, I got some energy up in here. Unlike some people, they don't like that heart fluttery. I enjoy it because I don't know, I just like that. I like that feeling. It's funny. So I didn't get that feeling, but I got this energy, and I'm like, damn, it is strong. And when you taste it, it is very smooth, but it also has like a very pungent, like very a very specific taste. It's smooth, but it has a kick.
It does. You can sort of feel it in the back, more in the back of your mouth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not really bitter, but not sweet at all. Even with creamer, like you can sort of feel that.
Yes.
I don't know. It's just got a little kick to it.
It does, and it's a good kick. It's wonderful. It's because some coffees like you make them and they're like, oh shit, this is horrible. Like this is gonna last for days in this mouth. Like oh no, but it
Yeah.
gives you energy, so I might as well drink it. But this coffee is beautiful. It is smooth, and when it kicks in, you have energy to tackle what you need to tackle. So I love it. I really do. I just enjoy it. Like it is delicious. It's just,
It is.
and I love the name, Coffee Bitch Slap. So who wouldn't want to drink something like that? But yeah, that is definitely that will definitely be something I order again because it tastes smooth. The packaging is beautiful. Um, and it doesn't leave like this bitter or gross aftertaste like some coffees do. This one doesn't have that for me. Um, yeah, and it's just a good experience. I love the way it smells. It doesn't smell like shit because some coffee like it smells like shit. And again, it throws you off because you do think it's going to be weaker just by the appearance. But then when you start pouring it in, you're like, oh no, it's dark. And you drink it, and then when it kicks in, you're like, oh fuck, maybe I shouldn't drink that whole pot. Maybe I should drink more.
Yeah, they do a good job of tricking you because you smell it and you're like, holy shit, this is like some strong ass freaking coffee. And then you grind it up if you get the bean version. You grind it up, and I mean that's a loud scent as well, but it smells so good. And then when you pour it, or you see it in your coffee pot, and then you're pouring it, you're like, what the hell? So you're like, is it going to be strong? Is it going to be weak? So I think they did a good job in surprising you. Or
Yeah.
maybe guessing, because, you smell it, you think, holy shit, I'm going to die. And then you pour it, and you're like, well, what the hell?
Right.
Why is this coffee a different color with a red tinge to it, But it's a really good coffee. I like it.
It is. It's very good. And the blend, like the coffee beans, the blend it's like an African and Latin American specialty blend. What I like is that it's roasted locally, like wherever they're located. I can't remember.
They're
But
in
it's roasted.
Richmond Heights, Missouri.
Yeah.
There you go. But it's roasted locally in small batches, so it's not like it's mass produced, and it's fair trade. So I really enjoy that about the company. But I will definitely continue to purchase it. But yeah, overall, it's a winner for me. Like I enjoy it, and I'll drink it again. What about y'all?
Oh, definitely 4.5 stars.
Right now.
Oh shit! I'm gonna go fill my cup. Okay, y'all. So that is coffee and cars with some deviant bitches. We hope you enjoyed this show, and we definitely enjoyed doing it. We love the Deviant Moon Tarot. We support that deck. We support the creator, and we love us some bitch slap coffee. Like shit, you need to get some. I will definitely put links in the description of the video, and I will probably put an affiliate link for the coffee and the cards. So if you want to purchase through our affiliate link, a little bit goes to us and helps us to purchase more coffee and more cards that we can review. But yeah, if there is a deck that you want us to review, if there is a type of coffee or even tea that you would like us to review, mention it to us, and we'll think about it. We'll contemplate it. But yeah, definitely do that. And we will see you next time. Yes. We will see you next time we do our coffee and cards. So y'all have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.